My name's Lisa Bobiak. I am a life balance and leadership coach with Living Fully Balanced. And today I'd like to share with you some strategies to help you sit confidently in uncertainty. Recently I was talking with a working mom, a client of mine, and there was something in her voice that told me she needed to share something. So I asked her, what's going on? And she said, Lisa, I am so embarrassed to tell you this, but I feel like I'm losing my mind. I haven't been able to make decisions. I haven't been able to get any focus around my work. My house is a disaster, and I feel like I'm spinning in circles. Leaning in and powering through when the world seems like it's falling apart isn't working anymore, is it? And maybe you have been doing a lot of thinking during this time, like I have. And I've been looking for things we can learn through all of this. And as I see it, there's been a major flaw in our hustle culture. We've been counting on the wrong things. We've been banking on the wrong things. Some of us counted on the stock market rising. Some moms have been counting on their kids' activities and putting them in particular activities with laser focus and taking on their child's grades as their own. They put their child's grades and activities on their own to-do list. So here's what I told my client. I said, leaning in and clinging harder won't control our external environment. But the good news is we all can control our internal environment. And we'll be free from burnout and we'll feel more balanced when we lean into our beliefs and when we cling to our boundaries. So if you want to feel in control and have a sense of contentment in good times and in bad, I want to share with you 4 steps that you can take so that you can prevent burnout even when things are crazy. Number 1, schedule quiet reflection. Schedule quiet reflection. Consider the successful people you know, whether you know them in person or they are celebrities. One of the things that they most likely have in common is that they have set and scheduled quiet time to reflect. We also know that what doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. So I encourage you to schedule quiet reflection. Your capacity to continue to make an impact is hinging on time to reflect. High achievers know that growth doesn't happen on the run. So how do you make it a part of your already busy day? 2 simple things I think would be helpful. Create a ritual around quiet reflection. So before you get up and get your day started, and before your day ends and you hit your head on the pillow at night, take 5 to 10 minutes of reflection time. Before the day, set your intentions. Think about what you need to get done and how you want to show up. And at the end of the day, neutrally reflect and assess the day and make some adjustments going forward. The second thing that I think could be easy to implement is put margins in between meetings rather than scheduling them back to back. When you build in margin time, that allows you to think back on the meeting, take some learnings, and apply them to decisions going forward. The second step is to check in. We all have boundaries, and yet in our hustle culture prior to the pandemic, we haven't really had the time to check in with them. Now's the time. Check in so that you can recognize your unique personal boundaries. So to do that, ask yourself some key questions. And when you get into the ritual and the routine of taking time in the morning and taking time in the evening, before things unwind and before things get going, you'll be able to do more check-ins. So check in with yourself. Ask yourself key questions. These key questions will help you discern between what society values and what you value. We feel unbalanced when we are acting that doesn't align with our core values, when we haven't set healthy boundaries for ourselves. That's when we feel the worst. So check in with yourself, ask some key questions. First question to ask yourself now: since the pandemic, since the shelter in place, where has the pressure been lifted? So where's the pressure been lifted? Second question, what? What are you secretly thankful not to be doing since sheltering in place? Is there something that you are secretly thankful not to do? What is it? And then the third question to ask yourself is when? When do you feel most at ease and content? Where has the pressure lifted? What are you secretly thankful that you're not doing? And when do you feel the most content and at ease? Your answers to those questions are clues to your beliefs and to the values that you and your family hold important. That's how you set boundaries. Third step, try on something new. Since almost everything in our culture has come to a halt, there's no social pressure to keep up, is there? And since perfection, no one's expecting it. No one's expecting perfection, so why not try out a new routine or a new habit? So what would you like to try that up until now has been elusive for you? Maybe you've been trying to meditate, or you've wanted to start a yoga practice, or you wanted to do the couch to 5K, or maybe personal development has been interesting to you, but you haven't had the time. What would you like to try that up until now has been elusive for you? Or maybe new routines would be helpful for your family. How about teaching the kids to fold their own laundry and put it away? Release the perfection. What about everybody in the family taking one meal a week, planning it, and creating it? Is it possible that the kids could get themselves up independently in the morning and get dressed and make breakfast? Another thing I'm thinking about with routines and habits is your families and your personal values. There are most likely things that you haven't had the time to do prior to the pandemic. There are probably things you've been saying, when we have enough time, we need to. Could it be getting out in nature? Could it be nightly read-alouds? Could it be establishing a healthy sleep routine? Could it be making sure each one of the kids has one-on-one time with you? What do you value? And let's make sure we establish a healthy habit with that. Getting into routines allows us to get rid of the decision fatigue. We don't have to decide to do this or that. When you're in a healthy routine, it makes the habits easy. So the fourth step is to decide what to bring forward. And this is critical. I want you to know that you do not need to rush back in to life as normal. There will be pressure to rush, but you take your time, use your beliefs as your compass, and choose what you're bringing in to your post-pandemic life. We feel burnout when our calendars don't reflect our values. When our calendars control our lives, we feel burnout. But once you decide to control your calendar, you'll have a sense of balance as your activities start to reflect what you value and what you believe in. So maybe you've dreamed of having more connection with your loved ones, or being more present to them when they're talking with you. Or maybe you've dreamed of a simpler cadence to your day rather than a frenetic one. Or maybe you've been challenged with sleep. Maybe a healthy respect for rest is what you're dreaming of. What will you choose to bring forward, and what will you choose to leave behind? If you're looking for an effective system that does encourage a daily rhythm of reflection and action, you need to check out the Living Fully Balanced Life Planner. I've designed it to encourage high-achieving women to plan for the future, reflect on the past, but most importantly, to take action in the present. Balance is when our daily actions align with our core beliefs. Before the end of World War II, Winston Churchill said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." This pandemic has indeed been a global crisis. And yet, maybe we're finally recognizing that learning to pause provides us with much, much more than leaning in ever did. Learning to pause is the key. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, take good care.